Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, Quadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the mighty Akim, who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this final captivity, as well as a speckled bird. They may look like the other nations, but are actually Yasharala. This is Brother Kawa Cup coming at you with another lesson. Today's lesson, it's going to be on this video. Well, two videos technically. It's on this video, which another brother, which he's responding to a video that another brother had done. And I just wanted to say, like, a lot of the stuff that he was saying, definitely go watch this video because this is a great video. But the thing here is that it goes to show the hypocrisy of, I kind of want to say Jake, yes, but at the same time, it's not just Jake, but it's also just these types of people that hate the people that hate YAHAWAH in general. All right, now basically you have people that just absolutely hate YAHAWAH. Let's actually start with this. Psalm 14 verse 1. To the chief musician, a Psalm of David, the fool hath said in his heart, there is no power. They are corrupt. They have done abominable works. There is none that doeth good. Basically, the thing here is how you have these atheists that always have something to say about YAHAWAH. And this brother had done such a great job at pointing out the hypocrisy in her complaints. And one of the things that I really heavily agreed with was how he said that, say for example, well, not for example, literal actual parallel is that YAHAWAH, he did all the killing that he did. He even said the reason to, I'm pretty sure all of the killings that happened, he said that there was a reason behind it, and I'm pretty sure that she mentioned, that the woman mentioned, and then he brought up and said how you have sex traffickers, you have organ harvesting that Esau does, but she ain't never you never see Jake having some sort of big major uproar about it, like where there may be some small temporary complaint, but it's never long enough for something to actually like demand changes. All right, and I don't know if you knew, but I believe that it is the so-called Native American women that are the most abducted among, either they are the most abducted or the so-called black woman is the most abducted. One of those two, I forgot the statistic, but I do know that it is Israelite women that are generally the most abducted compared to all other nations, which is kind of crazy to me, given how trusting I've seen. Because I don't know if you know, but there was this one serial killer. All right, there was this one story I heard about a serial killer where what happened was there was this one Edomite guy. The serial killer was an Edomite guy, and he was basically like going around talking to random girls or some shit like that, and then he was saying, hey, come on, I'll take you over here, whatever. And then there was just these two girls, one Edomite girl and one Asian girl. And the Asian girl was saying, hey, I don't think we should do this. We should just leave or whatever. We shouldn't go in. And then the Edomite girl was like, oh, no, it's fine. We can just go with him. And whatnot. And then they both died as a result of it. I'm pretty sure. I don't remember the whole story and whatnot, but I just thought that was pretty funny how even the other nations have enough common sense to think like, okay, I think this is a stupid idea. Like, I'm not gonna get in a car with a freaking stranger and whatnot. But yet, also the aspect about this is that this is not just one anecdotal instance. The fact of the matter is that Esau knows that this is his kingdom. So, normally Esau does not care. Esau is just gonna be reckless, haphazardous, or whatever, not have any sort of danger. Even with the whole if you've heard about the what's it called, the horror movie trope where the Edomites are always just going into whatever like stuff, like even though there's like a whole sign that says danger, monster, turn back or whatever, and then Esau will still just go in and say, oh, let's go check it out, I wonder what's inside and whatnot, or whatever. And then basically like that's how stuff goes on. All right, it is a very common trope where Esau has no sense of danger, and they put themselves in bad situations to basically be put to death and whatnot. So as a result of that, Slocky, again for getting off topic, going back onto the topic, that was basically how stuff is, where Esau that was the thing where I just thought it's kind of strange, but ultimately I do kind of understand, because Israelite households, they lack the proper protection, quote unquote, I guess protection, if that's a proper term, in terms of like a lack of a proper family structure. So oftentimes, when people think, okay, well, I'm gonna go try this, I'm gonna go try that or whatever, they usually get led astray, and then something bad ends up happening, or whatever other things, whatever other contributing factors lead up to them getting abducted, especially with people. I don't know the statistic, but there's a big number of I think it's so-called black women that are living by themselves or whatever now, more so than ever, I think. Don't quote me on that, but yeah. As a result of that, that's where you got this major vulnerability and ease of access for these predators to be going in and going to attack not just so-called black women, but all Israelite women in general. Hence, again, as I said before, the vulnerability. So with that being said, going back into the topic against Lakia for getting off topic, that's where you have this whole, why is it that Esau is allowed to get away with doing all these killings, these willful killings, all right? Like, and it's not for any greater good or whatever. It's literally for the sake of exploiting and evil desire, whatever you want to call it. All right, where our people are being killed or killed at a mass rate, okay, and that's not even including the quote unquote legal killing of the cops killing us as well. All right, so there are the legal killings and then the illegal killings of so-called blacks, I guess technically Hispanics as well, and Native Americans, but I don't know about the statistics on the Native Americans. About the Hispanics, I only know the so-called blacks and the Native Americans, and it's never. The sad reality of it is that, yeah, we are heavily targeted, and that's why it's so important that you take your safety seriously. All right, which that's why that's why there were some times when sometimes they will say like, okay, yeah, watch out where you are. Don't go posting on social media X, Y, and Z and stuff like that. Why are you being so reckless? All right. So something to remember. Anyway, continuing on. Luke chapter 12 verse 56. Ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky and of the earth, but how is it that ye do not discern this time? Okay, so that's the thing where people, they're able to point out all this stuff. And by the way, the video that she did, she actually listed out so many different instances of times where the Lord had put people to death. It was very well, and apparently, like, again, and this is what another brother had talked about. He said that she did more research on the Bible than Christians do. She, as an atheist, and that's the thing, that's a humiliating thing about Christianity, is that atheists know more about the Bible than Christians do. All right, and I think only in this one regard, I'm not giving any credit to them, but only in this one regard, I think that it is a funny and humiliating thing for someone to claim Christianity, but yet as a Christian, you know less about the Bible compared to someone that openly hates the Bible and the Lord in general. All right, I think that's a very funny. I forgot what the term is, but it's a funny thing to know that, you know, you're over here claiming that, oh, I love God, I love this, I love that, whatever. Like, this is my life and whatnot. But yet, whenever you hear something like. Whenever you hear about the stuff that happened in the scriptures, you're like, oh, I didn't know about that, or I didn't know about this, or whatever, and you're getting caught with your pants down by someone that openly hates it. All right, so I thought that was pretty funny, but yet it goes to show that these people are also those exact same people that hate the Lord, but study the Lord, all this stuff. They know all about they know all about the scripture. They know all about science and stuff like that, but they're unable to see that. Look at all the prophecies that is going on. All right, look at all the prophecies and how true the stuff that you hate. But yeah, you know all about this. You literally studied. You did all this research for what? All right, unless AI did it, but I maybe not. Okay. Anyway, continuing on. Next, it was Proverbs 20 verse 24, man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own way? And, you know, that's the thing where, you know, YAHAWAH, he's the one who puts and sets people up to be and to think this way. All right. This is so, and, you know, that's a part of the humor of the Lord where, you know, he makes people the hypocrites. All right. That's kind of ironic, but the hypocrites where the people that say that they love YAHAWASHI, they barely know anything about YAHAWASHI. And then the people that openly say that they hate, they spend more time on YAHAWASHI than their own freaking interests and stuff like that. All right. Like how Slocky, let me correct myself. Their interest is hating. All right. If you've ever learned of if you ever knew an actual like hater, like a genuine like person that hates for a living. All right, because there are people like that where their whole personality is literally hating on something or someone else. All right, where like they live and breathe like, I hate X, Y, and Z and stuff like that. Or I hate fucking Will Smith, for example. Like they learn all about Will Smith just to say, oh, Will Smith is so terrible, all his movies, even though they are the ones watching all the goddamn Will Smith movies just to freaking hate. And that is a culture of Esau Edom, where Esau literally spends all his damn life hating on Jake, and Esau spends his damn life, like, I don't know if you've ever saw this before, but even on YouTube channels, there's so many, like, if you go to any like big YouTuber's channel, they will get a lot of people saying, oh, I love you and this, that, and third, whatever. But another thing is that a hated YouTuber, all right, when they get hate, like, they get this same person that's always gonna say F you, this, that, and third, whatever, and stuff like that, where it's like a religious thing where people literally subscribe or follow someone just to say you are a piece of trash, you this, you're that, you're whatever, and to curse them out and stuff like that. Like, there are people that are literally dedicated to that, where, you know, common sense would dictate that if you don't like something, you don't put your time onto it. All right, where you are actively putting in time and effort into something that you actively dislike, where it's just like, what does that accomplish for you? And it really doesn't accomplish anything. You're really just wasting your time. But again, I think that's a perfect what's it called? I forgot the term. It's basically a perfect example of the irony in how someone who hates so much is just so invested into someone else. All right. Isaiah chapter 5 verse 23, which justify the wicked for reward and take away the righteousness of the righteous from him. And that's another thing where with again, going back to the thing, she is justifying, not necessarily justifying, but she is completely disregarding and ignoring all the stuff, because as I mentioned before, Esau is kidnapping so many people, all right, and in all honesty, it isn't just Israelite women, but it's women, all women in general, because a lot of I'm pretty sure I've heard, because there was this one dude that well, I guess too late now, but basically what happened is that people get kidnapped. Okay, everyone gets kidnapped. All different races get kidnapped, and kidnapping, underground sex trafficking, human trafficking, all that stuff, that's a very big thing that's going on in, I'll say, America, or hell, maybe all around the world, in all honesty. All right. And the fact of the matter is that people, it's not really as talked about as much. All right. And again, when you think about all this stuff, it's just like, oh, why did God let these natural disasters happen? Why did God let this hurricane or whatever stuff happen and whatnot? Well, okay, sure, but like, which by the way, there's definitely justification behind these types of stuff, because even with the flood with for Noah's Ark and whatnot, that was because the people were wicked. All right, now over here you're complaining about a hurricane, you're complaining about a tornado or whatever, but what about all the evil that Esau did? What about all the kidnapping, the human trafficking, the killings and stuff like that Esau actively does even today? All right, like it's so hilarious to me that people want to talk and complain about what YAHAWAH does, but no one ever wants to complain or talk about or examine like what Esau does. But of course, Eve loves Esau Edom, so she would never complain about him, no matter what he did. He can literally go and beat her down, and then she would still love him. All right, she said, "Oh, it was just one guy, it was just one this and one this, blah blah blah, and whatnot." And then, okay, well, God is evil for whatever. All right, Micah chapter 3, verse 1. And I said, "Hear, I pray you, O heads of Jacob, and ye princes of the house of Israel. Is it not for you to know judgment, who hate the good and love the evil, who pluck off their skin from off them, and their flesh from off their bones?" Basically, the thing here is these people, they hate the good and love the evil. When the Lord is judging certain people, especially like Sodom and Gomorrah, it's like she knew what happened, but she just didn't care. The people were evil in Sodom and Gomorrah. We literally saw that. They literally demonstrated and showed that, but literally before it was destroyed, and then that just completely is disregarded in the for the sake of adding on to another thing, because that was what she added. She added Sodom and Gomorrah as the list of people that was killed. Those people were evil. All right, those people were clearly evil, and yet you're going to just ignore that. All right, they were literally trying to do something like vile. All right, they were literally actively, they were actively evil. So how is it that like you just completely disregard something so important? So with that, I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH, SHAMAIWAN, double honors to the elders and apostles, the great millstone, abad ball, and shalom.